The Boeing B-52 Stratofortress is one of the most legendary military aircraft ever built and remains one of the most important symbols of American air power. Few aircraft in history have served as long, participated in as many conflicts, or adapted to as many technological changes as the B-52. Designed during the early years of the Cold War, the aircraft first flew in 1952 and entered service in 1955. More than 70 years later, it continues flying combat missions and remains a critical component of the United States Air Force. What makes the B-52 truly remarkable is not just its age, but its ability to evolve. While many aircraft become obsolete after 20 or 30 years, the Stratofortress has survived multiple generations of military technology and continues to receive upgrades that keep it effective in modern warfare. The story of the B-52 begins shortly after World War II. Following the defeat of Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan, the United States and the Soviet Union emerged as the world's two dominant superpowers. Relations between the former allies rapidly deteriorated, leading to what became known as the Cold War. American military leaders understood that future conflicts might involve nuclear weapons and that the nation needed an aircraft capable of carrying these weapons over vast distances. Existing bombers such as the B-29 Superfortress and B-36 Peacemaker had limitations in speed, altitude, and survivability. The U.S. Air Force therefore issued a requirement for a new strategic bomber capable of flying farther, faster, and higher than anything previously built. Boeing submitted several designs before arriving at the final concept. Engineers chose a swept-wing configuration inspired by research into high-speed flight. The aircraft would use 8 jet engines, giving it exceptional power and range. Development was complex and expensive, but on April 15, 1952, the first prototype successfully completed its maiden flight. The aircraft impressed military officials immediately. It demonstrated impressive speed, endurance, and payload capacity, leading to full-scale production. By the time manufacturing ended in 1962, Boeing had produced 744 B-52 bombers. The aircraft's appearance quickly became iconic. Measuring nearly 160 feet in length and possessing a wingspan exceeding 185 feet, the bomber was enormous. Fully loaded, it could weigh more than 488,000 pounds. Its 8 engines were mounted in 4 pods beneath the wings, providing enough thrust to carry massive payloads across continents. The aircraft typically operated with a crew of 5 consisting of the aircraft commander, pilot, radar navigator, and electronic warfare officer. Early versions carried 6 crew members, including a tail gunner responsible for operating defensive machine guns located in the rear section of the aircraft. During the 1950s and early 1960s, the B-52 served primarily as a nuclear deterrent. The bomber formed one leg of America's nuclear triad, alongside land-based intercontinental ballistic missiles and submarine-launched ballistic missiles. The aircraft regularly conducted long-range patrols designed to demonstrate readiness and deter Soviet aggression. During periods of heightened tension, some B-52s remained airborne around the clock carrying nuclear weapons. This strategy ensured that even if enemy forces launched a surprise attack, enough bombers would survive to deliver a devastating retaliation. The constant presence of these aircraft contributed significantly to maintaining strategic stability throughout the Cold War. One of the most dangerous incidents involving airborne nuclear alert operations occurred in 1961 near Goldsboro, North Carolina. A B-52 carrying 2 nuclear bombs suffered structural failure and crashed. Investigations later revealed that one bomb came dangerously close to detonating. Although disaster was avoided, the incident highlighted the risks associated with maintaining nuclear readiness during the Cold War. Throughout the 1960s, the B-52 increasingly became involved in conventional warfare. The Vietnam War transformed the aircraft from a strategic nuclear platform into a conventional bomber capable of delivering enormous quantities of explosives. During Operation Rolling Thunder and subsequent campaigns, B-52s conducted thousands of bombing missions against enemy positions, supply routes, and military infrastructure. One of the most famous operations occurred during Operation Arclight, where formations of bombers attacked targets throughout Southeast Asia. The sheer destructive power of these strikes became legendary. A single B-52 could carry dozens of bombs, creating devastating effects across large areas. During Operation Linebacker II in December 1972, waves of Stratofortresses launched intensive attacks against targets in North Vietnam. For 11 consecutive days, bombers struck rail yards, airfields, military bases, and logistical centers. The operation represented one of the largest strategic bombing campaigns since World War II. Despite facing sophisticated Soviet-built surface-to-air missiles and heavy anti-aircraft fire, the B-52 demonstrated remarkable resilience. Several aircraft were lost, but the campaign ultimately achieved its objectives and contributed to negotiations that helped end American involvement in the conflict. Following Vietnam, military planners evaluated lessons learned and implemented numerous upgrades. New electronic warfare systems improved survivability against enemy radar and missile threats. Enhanced navigation systems increased bombing accuracy. Improved communications allowed better coordination with other military assets. These modifications ensured that the aircraft remained effective despite rapidly evolving air defense technologies. During the 1970s and 1980s, the B-52 continued serving as a cornerstone of American strategic power. Numerous variants entered service, including the B-52A, B-52B, B-52C, B-52D, B-52E, B-52F, B-52G, and B-52H. Each version introduced improvements in performance, avionics, fuel capacity, weapons integration, or defensive systems. The B-52H, introduced in the early 1960s, remains the primary operational variant today. Unlike earlier versions, it employs turbofan engines that improve efficiency and extend range. The Cold War reached some of its most dangerous moments during events such as the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962. During this period, B-52 crews maintained extremely high readiness levels in anticipation of possible nuclear conflict. Bombers were dispersed to multiple airfields, armed with nuclear weapons, and prepared for immediate launch. Fortunately, diplomatic efforts prevented war, but the crisis demonstrated the strategic importance of long-range bombers within global deterrence strategies. The collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 raised questions about the future of the B-52. Many observers believed the aircraft would soon retire. Instead, it found renewed relevance during Operation Desert Storm. When Iraq invaded Kuwait in 1990, an international coalition formed to liberate the country. B-52 bombers participated extensively in the campaign. Aircraft flew some of the longest combat missions ever conducted, launching from bases thousands of miles away and striking Iraqi military targets. During the conflict, the bomber delivered approximately 40% of all coalition munitions dropped on Iraqi forces. Its ability to carry massive payloads made it especially effective against troop concentrations, command centers, and logistical facilities. The success of the B-52 during Desert Storm surprised many military analysts and demonstrated that the aircraft remained highly relevant despite its age. Throughout the 1990s, the bomber continued supporting military operations around the globe. It participated in missions over Bosnia and Kosovo, striking strategic targets during NATO operations in the Balkans. Advances in precision-guided munitions significantly increased effectiveness. Instead of relying solely on large-area bombing, crews could now destroy specific targets with extraordinary accuracy. Following the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001, the United States launched military operations in Afghanistan. The B-52 quickly became one of the most important aircraft involved in Operation Enduring Freedom. Its long endurance allowed it to remain over battlefields for extended periods while supporting ground forces. Equipped with modern targeting systems and precision weapons, the bomber could rapidly respond to requests from troops engaged in combat. Similar capabilities proved valuable during Operation Iraqi Freedom beginning in 2003. Once again, the aircraft demonstrated remarkable versatility. Originally designed for nuclear warfare, it successfully adapted to precision strike missions supporting modern counterinsurgency operations. The B-52 has also participated in numerous deterrence missions worldwide. Aircraft routinely deploy to Europe, the Middle East, and the Pacific region to reassure allies and demonstrate American commitment to collective defense. These deployments often involve joint exercises with partner nations and serve as visible reminders of U.S. military capabilities. In recent years, B-52s have operated near areas of tension involving Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran. Their presence communicates strategic messages without requiring direct military confrontation. One reason the B-52 remains effective is its extraordinary payload capacity. The aircraft can carry more than 70,000 pounds of weapons. These include conventional bombs, laser-guided bombs, GPS-guided munitions, naval mines, standoff missiles, anti-ship missiles, and nuclear weapons. Modern cruise missiles launched from B-52 bombers can strike targets hundreds of miles away. This allows aircraft to engage heavily defended objectives without entering dangerous airspace. The bomber's flexibility makes it suitable for strategic attack, close air support, maritime strike, deterrence patrols, and numerous other mission types. Technological modernization continues to ensure the aircraft's relevance. Current upgrade programs include new radar systems, improved communications equipment, advanced mission computers, digital cockpit displays, and enhanced networking capabilities. Perhaps the most significant modernization effort involves replacing the aircraft's aging engines with modern Rolls-Royce F-130 engines. These engines promise greater reliability, lower maintenance costs, improved fuel efficiency, and increased operational effectiveness. The modernization package is expected to keep the B-52 flying into the 2050s and potentially beyond. This means some airframes could remain operational for nearly 100 years. Such longevity is virtually unprecedented in aviation history. Today, the B-52 operates from several major U.S. Air Force bases, including Barksdale Air Force Base and Minot Air Force Base. Crews regularly conduct training missions, global deployments, strategic patrols, and multinational exercises. The bomber remains integrated into America's nuclear deterrence strategy while simultaneously supporting conventional military operations. Its continued service reflects not only the quality of its original design, but also decades of successful modernization. Military historians often compare the B-52 to famous warships that served across multiple generations because its operational lifespan spans numerous eras of global history. It has witnessed the Cold War, the Vietnam War, Desert Storm, the War on Terror, and modern geopolitical competition. Throughout each period, the aircraft adapted to changing circumstances and remained a valuable military asset. Few machines of any kind can claim such a record. The Boeing B-52 Stratofortress is more than just a bomber. It is a symbol of endurance, adaptability, engineering excellence, and strategic power. More than 70 years after its first flight, it continues serving on the front lines of global security. While countless aircraft have come and gone, the Stratofortress remains in the skies, proving that exceptional design combined with continuous innovation can overcome even the passage of time itself.